Martial Arts, the trading card game, is pretty easy to understand. In a nutshell, you and your opponent have 30 lives. Your goal is to bring them down to 0 to completely knock them out and defeat them. So there's no time limit, and a typical game will be about 10 to 15 minutes depending on how you play. There are 6 game phases: the draw phase, prep phase, attack phase, block phase, resolve phase, and end turn. Now let's take a look at the different types of cards. You have your attack cards, your defense cards, your strategy cards, and your event cards. Okay, here's an attack card. As you can tell in the top left corner, there's the name of the move as well as the style it represents. Over here is the ability of the card, and below you have the 3 different values of the card. The first one is the attack. Now, this is how much damage that this card can do. Jab Punch does 1 damage if unblocked. The second is a DEF. A DEF is your defense. Now, it's kind of weird because I told you that there's defense cards. That's true, but what if you don't have a defense card in your hand, or you just choose not to play it? If someone hits you with a hook punch and you throw your jab punch as a defense, you block 1 and you're going to take 1 yourself. Of course, if it's a 1 hit, you block it completely. But just keep in mind that the attack card's defense value is going to be significantly lower than a normal defense card. The third value you have is the linker, or LNK. It's pretty important because, let's say I play this jab and you take the hit, you don't block it at all, so you take 1 damage. I can continue pressing on my attack by creating a combo, which is any move that is over your first one. So basically, let's say I play this jab and I want to hit you again. So I notice that the LNK is 2. That means the next card I play that's an attack has to have a CPT or connect point that is 2 or lower. So in this case, right after, I follow up with a hook, because if you notice, the CPT of the hook punch is 2, so I can actually play this. If, for example, I played this jab and I have another jab card, I can still play it because the CPT is 1. So it's pretty straightforward there. So combos can keep on going in succession. I can play, this jab, and then I can play a hook, and then let's say I have another jab and I play another jab, and I can keep on going until the opponent decides to block, or or you decide, hey, I'm gonna stop now, I'm gonna stop attacking. Okay, the next type of card we have is the defense card. In this case, it's the Shin Block. It has its own special ability here, but if you notice, it's straightforward. It has defense value, which we talked about, and then it has a linker. And the reason why it has a linker is because after you make your block, you have the choice as a defender to counterattack. So let's say I play this block and I block your attack, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, there's a linker of 2, so I'm going to play a hook punch. So right after I shin block you, I'm going to come in and do a hook punch, because if you notice, once again, linker is 2, CPT is 2, I can play this. And essentially by doing that, I just took over your attack phase. So I interrupt your attack phase, I took it over, I blocked it, and then I took it over, and then now I can keep attacking you. So I can play this again, and keep going and going. Now, cool thing is, the same thing works for you. So let's say I counterattacked. Let's say, okay, I blocked you, and then I attacked you. Well, let's say you had a block, and then you blocked, and then you can counterattack me again. Then I block and I counterattack, and they can keep on going depending on how you want to play. This is your strategy after all. The next type of card is the strategy cards. Strategy cards have really powerful effects right here that will help you And you can play this during your turn or your opponent's turn, which provides for a lot of, well, strategy. As you can see, there's an ADR cost right here. This right here is your adrenaline points. So how do you get adrenaline points to spend on these cards? Well, it's about combos. So basically, let's say I played this jab punch and you take the hit. Then I followed up and played a hook and you take the hit. By doing this one combo, I gain 1 adrenaline point. And adrenaline points are pretty cool because you can save them. It doesn't go away unless you spend it. So let's say in this example, I played my jab, you took the hit. I played my hook, you took the hit. So I gained 1 adrenaline point. And then immediately I say, you know what? I'm afraid you have a special block. So I'm going to use absolute focus for 1. So now my adrenaline point value that I have saved up is 0. What this card says is the attacking opponent basically cannot block this move, or if someone's attacking and I use this, any block could work. So in this case, since I'm the one attacking, I'm going to play this card because I'm afraid you have this awesome block. And then now my next move I can do, I can attack you, you cannot block it because I spent the adrenaline point to use absolute focus. The last type of card we have is the event cards. Event cards are pretty interesting by having effects that affect both players. It could be negatively or positively. Let's say it's my turn and I play this. I cannot get rid of this card unless I play another event card that takes its place. So I can't just put this in here and say, oh, next turn I'm going to get rid of it. No, you're stuck with it. Now an opponent can also play an event card, so 2 events can happen at the same time. His event card will not take the place of this card, so 2 event cards can be in play. Think of your strategy and see what works best for you, because like I said, it can change the gameplay dramatically. So that's the overview of the gameplay. For the official rules, please check out our Facebook at facebook.com/martialartstcg. With your help, we can make this game a reality.